Good morning, students. After some gap, today we will go for the learning of the subject of business organization in the BCom first semester in first year of RTM Nagpur University Nagpur, and this session is conducted by Dr. K.V. Somnath, Assistant Professor, GS College of Commerce, Wardha. Already we have discussed the introduction topic in this particular subject, business organization, as first unit, and after completion of the first unit we have already started the second unit, namely types of business organizations. Under that also we have completed the first one, that is the sole tradership or sole proprietorship. Today we will go for a glimpse of the fundamental concepts of the partnership, which is also another form of business organization. In the earlier class also I have given some inputs about this partnership form of business organization. In India, the partnership form of business organizations are well covered by the Indian Partnership Act 1932. Let us go for the general meaning of partnership. Partner means a person singly or individually may not be called as a partner. So partner means association of or gathering of or clubbing of two or more than two people. Minimum two people are required, and if more than two people, up to a certain extent, like in the case of some business nature of organizations, the limit is up to 10 or 20 based upon their caricature and the nature of business and the size of business. Anyhow, the minimum number of partners required to form a partnership firm or to conduct a business under the partnership form of business nature, there is a requirement of minimum two people. Now let us go for the overall observation of the definition of partnership. So there are n number of definitions given by so many people on an overall basis. There is a particular definition given by L.H. Hane. What is the name of the person? L.H. Hane, who has given some most suitable definition for the business conducted under the partnership form. So what is that definition? The relationship between persons who agree to carry on a business in common with a view to a private gain. That is what the definition means. It is a relationship. Partnership is nothing but a relationship. And what is the basic objective of that relationship? To carry a business. And while carrying a business, there should be a commonality of ideology, thinking and activities and actions to be conducted on the part of all the partners of the business organization. And there is also a private gain, means profit. If the profit is not the objective, it is not called as a business. So profit, commonality, agreement, consensusness and a connectivity between and among the people who have been formulated under the partnership. So these are all essentials to be denoted as a part of the definition of the partnership as far as the partnership business firm is concerned. Now let us go for a clear-cut understanding of the specific features of the partnership form of business organization. We have here nearly 14 features of the partnership form of business organization. Apart from that, I request you, if you do have any exposure of Other than these features, you can add on your own while writing your notes or the examination or the assignments. Okay, let us go for the first one. First feature or caricature or characteristic of the partnership form. The first one is association of 2 or more people. Means if single person is there, it is not called as partnership. It is called as sole proprietorship. Now coming to the question, minimum 2 people or more than 2 people. And then in which form? As an association, amalgamation, combinedness. So the association group, there is a group of people, minimum 2 and more than 2, who can be in a position to formulate a partnership form of business. Then the question comes, who will associate themselves minimum 2 and more than 2 for the form of business? There should be a common idea. There should be a common idea. There should be a common consensus among the people to conduct the nature in which it is decided. For example, 2 or more people have agreed to conduct a kirana store. There is a commonality that the idea behind the formulation of the business is the nature in which the business is to be conducted. So that's why the association should depend upon the nature of the people who will come together wholeheartedly or willfully, and they will enter into a agreement between and among themselves to enter into the partnership form of business. Right? That is one. Second one is a contractual relation. Contract. So here what is a contract? A contract is the agreement with valid consideration according to the mercantile law or business law. So what is a valid consideration here? The valid consideration is to have a profit legally or willfully, and apart from that to have a commonality, that is to conduct the business. Here the consideration is a valid consideration, it is not a void consideration. So in the case of a valid consideration, if there is an agreement between and among the people, minimum 2 and more than 2, to conduct a business is called as a deed. So the partnership form of business organization must and ought requires a consensus and an agreement with a legality, and which is called as partnership deed. You can say that the partnership deed is nothing but the constitution of the partnership form. Based upon that, the business is conducted. For every problem, for every advice, for every suggestion, the contractual relationship established through the partnership deed is referred a number of cases to get a clarity and to have the judgment of efficacy of continuing and conducting the partnership form of business by the partners in the business. So it's a contractual relationship. When once the deed is over or the deed is cancelled or dissolved, automatically the partnership form gets dissolved. So until and unless there is a contractual relationship in the name of partnership deed, you cannot call that organization as a partnership. The next one is earning a profit. There should be a common objective between and among all the people within the partnership form as an association. So what should be the common objective? Earning of profit, because business is nothing but formulated for earning the profit. So if there is no profit, automatically it is not called as a partnership form. So there is a need of having the objectivity, that is earning of profit. Profit should be earned. Next one is existence of business. So here the existence of business. What do you mean by this existence of business? Partners who have been associated themselves for what? To conduct some actions and activities. Regarding what? Regarding earning the profit. So means without any, by default, we can come to a conclusion that there should be the existence of business, the conduct of the business, either by way of production or by way of marketing or by way of selling, whatever it may be. Ultimately, the business should be in existence. If there is no business, there is no partnership. So the mere existence of the business itself is promulgating the main and basic feature of the business organization. Now coming to the question, implied authority. What is here implied authority? Implied authority in the sense one for all and all for one. Every partner of the business is an officially representing the organization as partnership firm of business. So a person himself is the owner, a person himself is the member or the partner. Every person is having equal authority to take decision, to take participation in the actions and activities in the nature of business conducted by the partnership firm from time to time, and having the authority to verify the accounts of the partnership firm. So no other person can deny, because every partners are here equal as far as their authority and officiality is concerned. So here implied authority. It is means that every partner he is a owner of the organization. Even though he is a member in the partnership, every person is dealt as the owner of the organization. So having full authority to conduct, to verify, to show interest, to take decisions, to participate in decision making, and to get ideas and to communicate, to conduct the meetings, whatnot. In the daily course of business, everything is given authority and responsibility on the part of the partners, and the authority is implied, means by default the authority has come in. Next one is unlimited liability. Just like in sole tradership, in the case of loss, not only the capital contributed by the partners will go, apart from that, the extent to which the loss is supposed to be mitigated is relied upon to extent of the personal personal assets also, personal belongings also. For example, in the case of a huge loss of 10 crores to a partnership firm, and the partnership capital itself is 5 crores, the remaining 5 crores are supposed to be contributed from the personal belongings of the partners. So that is what will go for unlimited liability. Means they can forego their personal belongings also. They cannot say simply that my liability is limited to or to the extent of my capital provided only. It is not possible. Next one is principal and agent relationship. Every partner himself is a owner or herself is a owner in the partnership firm. So that fellow is a principal also, as well as every partner is an agent of the partnership firm. Means on behalf of the firm, every partner has to take decision or to participate, automatically implied authority. When there is an implied authority, the partnership firm will create a relationship between the firm and the members of the partnership organization. Henceforth, every partner is supposed to act as a principal, and at the same time, in the case of representing the formulation of the proposed partnership firm or the existing partnership firm, there should be a relationship also. Next one is utmost good faith. Here what do you mean by this utmost good faith? Utmost good faith in the sense, every partner should have a full way of acceptance and having trust and confidence among the other members of the partnership. Next one, restriction of transfer of share. Any partner cannot transfer his capital or cannot transfer his authority or a partnership share to other person, because ultimately it will go into very much highly problems on the part of the continuation or existence of the partnership. So they cannot transfer their share of their business. So that's why there is no obligation or there is no feasibility on the part of the partners to transfer their shares. Next, common management. As I said, one for all and all for one. Whatever decision taken by one partner is supposed to be bound out by the other partners. One single partner cannot say, no, this decision has not been taken by me. No, you should bind for that. So here the management of the organization or management of the business organization or the partnership firm is very much dependent upon the consensusness only. So the management is common, the authority is common. Whoever is a partner, there should be a common authority. So they should abide by that. Next one is partners and partnership are one. You cannot separately see the partner and the partnership. Partner in the sense partnership. Partnership in the sense there are partners. You cannot bifurcate and differentiate between the partnership firm and the partners. Next one is capital contribution. This is must. Every partner should produce or should have some contribution to the capital of the organization. Sometimes with the consensus of the other partners, sometimes in specific situation, for example, there is a very highly energetic and skilled person having high business capability skills, then other members say that okay, you don't contribute, but you contribute everything for the organization except the capital, but a share is given to that fellow. That is mostly it is not that much of happening anywhere. So capital contribution is very highly essential. Without the contribution there is no partnership. Next, protection of minority interest. Here, for example, there is a meeting conducted by the partners to go for a decision making on a particular problem or a situation. If one or two members among the 15 or 20 members or 10 members of the partners, one or two are not accepting the decision taken by the other 8 members or 9 members, but it does not have a meaning. It is deemed to be taken into consideration. It is the common decision, and majority decision is the common decision and overall decision of the management of the partnership firm. Henceforth, the minorities protection is very good. Last one is, it is continuity. Like in the case of joint stock companies, we will go further, perpetual succession, it is not here. In the case of partnership firm, in the case of retirement, in the case of death, in the case of some other situation, if one partner has supposed to discontinued, automatically the partnership deed is dissolved, the partnership firm is dissolved, and automatically the partnership is in no more existence. So the continuity of the partnership firm highly depends upon the existence of the partners within the partnership organization. The moment the person is died, the person has taken out their capital, the moment the person has shown his disinterest on the conduct of the partnership firm, automatically the partnership deed is dissolved and the partnership firm is also dissolved. Means it is merely concerned to the existence of the people within the partnership only. Right? These are all the specific features of partnership firm. Remaining will come to the understanding in the next class. Thank you very much.